Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I know it's new and I haven't put out a lot of content yet, but I'm working on it. I've got a lot of things going through this brain of mine. Again, the name of it is the Healing Willow Tree 000. And please subscribe, like, hit that little bell. I really would like for the channel to grow. I would like for it to be able to kind of get out there. Hopefully some people will like it, and maybe there'll be something that is useful to them. So I appreciate all the support from anyone who is interested. Also, just feel free to leave me any comments, as long as, well, leave me any comments. I can handle it. Anyway, here's something I want to talk about. It's been on my mind for a while. It's something that Spirit's really been working with me on for a minute now. And I go back and forth and back and forth. I want to talk about balance. Balance, I've started to realize, is something that I've never really been very good at in my life. I would like to think that I've been good at it. But, it's one of those things that until you get to a point where you realize just how unbalanced you are, um, you don't really realize what balance is. So I've really started to kind of dive in and look at it in a lot of situations in my life, in my career, in my personal life, in everything from eating habits to bad habits to, just all around. And there's a couple of things that I've started to kind of have to acknowledge within myself, and that's a lot of things that will keep you from being balanced and keep you from having your full potential in whatever situation that it is. Um, like, it's kind of weird for me because as you'll find out, I do have ADHD. And so my mind kind of goes bing, ding, 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 ding. And then all of a sudden, it's like there's all these things like spread everywhere. And eventually I'm kind of like, okay, let me get this one. Let me get this one. And I know I said I wasn't going to script anything. And I'm not scripting things, but I have had to start taking some notes. Actually, I got in really bad trouble at work last night because we're not supposed to be on our phones, but these ideas came into my head. So I'm trying to, jot them on my notepad on my phone. And, I look up and there's the boss and she's like not very happy. But I know she still loves me even though I was in trouble. But anyway, when it comes to balance in my life, what I've had to start to really look at is whether it be in a friendship or my work life or a relationship. It's like we put so many expectations on um, the outcome of things and what we want, what we expect. And sometimes we get it so deeply ingrained in us that if it's not the way we want it to be or the way we think it should be, that, well, it's just not good enough. And that's not true balance. And I'm kind of starting to realize that, I have this friend of mine. He's been my friend for 30 years. And we used to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because he's the type of guy who, he'll be like, yeah, let's go have drinks, 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And you're like, okay, cool. And then you show up 6 o'clock on Wednesday and you're sitting there 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Now, most people would have given up by then, but I just knew he was coming, and it was like when I would, be like, hello, what happened? Oh, I forgot. Or, whatever it was. And when we were younger, it was kind of like I would get so frustrated. And then it reached a point where I started to understand that that was just his personality. He was telling probably three people that he was going to meet him at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And I think his intentions were good. I don't think he was trying to screw anybody over. but sometimes she would be there and sometimes he wouldn't. Um, and eventually over time we came to understand that, you had to not have certain expectations. But and I know that's kind of a rough example, but and if he watches this video, I'm sorry to talk about you like that. But anyway, the other thing I've started to realize is, everybody has a past. I have a past, yeah, and a lot of it I'm not real proud of. And I used to try and hide a lot of my past because I was so ashamed of a lot of the things that I had done. And sometimes it got me into a lot more trouble because I didn't feel like I had to share or I could share. And so it reached a point where I kind of was like, okay, if anybody's going to tell my past, it's going to be me. So I just would, put it out there. And kind of sometimes I think maybe, at least I know for myself, I think, well, if I can put it out there, anybody can put it out there, but not everybody's like that. Not everybody wants to share everything immediately or ever. And I think that that's got to be up to the individual, and the relationship. It's not like I walk down the street saying, "Yeah, I used to be a gambler, and I used to, think that it was okay just to cover up, emotions and feelings with lies and deceit." And I don't just walk down the street like that. But if I do feel, I guess I just kind of did. But I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like that there's certain things that I have to speak my truth. And it's up to the individual to know what their truth is. So I think that there again, we're talking about that balance thing. And I understand that in, especially in a relationship, I think that there needs to be an understanding of expectation. And I think that for myself, I've probably gone into some relationships with absolutely no expectations because it wasn't important to me. And then I've gone into other relationships where there was too many expectations because probably more so out of fear than anything. Like, okay, if I don't make this exactly this way, then it's either not a real relationship, or maybe it's not going to meet my needs, or it's not going to get me where I want, or it's not going to look like this. And I think that I've had difficulty with relationships because of that. I think that it's been hard because, like, people hurt people. I've hurt people, and people have hurt me. And sometimes it's like you have to understand that most people don't just set out and say, I'm really going to fuck this one over, okay? And I'm going to do it on purpose. I think that sometimes the things in our life that have made us who we are will cause us to do certain things that end up hurting someone. Myself, I don't ever set out to hurt somebody's feelings, and it's like, but I will say when I do realize it, I try to be pretty good about going back and saying, you know what, I'm sorry, that was wrong. Saying I'm sorry is not hard for me, um, because I know that we all make mistakes, but I understand that sometimes people just struggle with that. But, it's like, I think that I spent a lot of time in my life trying to force an outcome. And I've really grown and realized that whether it works out the way I want it to or not, it's not going to work out any better if I try and force something, or if I try and like make a list of do's and don'ts. It's kind of like, I think that me going forward in the future, um, I'm going to be the type of person who just knows what I need to do and who I need to be. And, it's like the balance, the flow. We just have to kind of say, maybe, maybe let's just get to know somebody. That's a brilliant idea. Actually, really get to know them. But it's like, just because I want to open up and tell, someone everything about me doesn't mean that that's what they want. And I think it's taken a lot of hard knocks for me to understand that. Might work for you, might not work for you, but I just kind of feel like I have to kind of put that out there for people so that maybe you can find a little easier time finding that balance, and you don't have to struggle like I've had to struggle to find the balance. I think maybe, just maybe, the next person that I come in contact with, they might be a little happier because the balance will be there. The expectations won't be there. I don't have to forgive anybody for their past unless it's something that directly involved me. It's like, your past is your past. You don't have to forgive me for my past. I don't have to forgive you for your past. In fact, I think I would rather, well, no, I started to say I don't want anybody to share their past with me, but I don't want to be in the dark either, be with a serial killer or anything like that. So anyway, I think that we need to understand that we need to understand our own truth. Let the next guy understand their own truth. Forgive ourselves, understand ourselves, grow within ourselves, become that self-loving, content person within ourselves. And the things that are meant for us are going to be there. If you have someone in your life that that you care about and you love or you like or whatever, it's like, try and be a little bit more compassionate to what they might be going through. And if they truly are as special as you think they are, they're going to in turn have that same compassion and understanding, and they're going to want that balance just like you do. If they don't, then that must not be the right person for you. So, my thought for Wednesday is, find balance within yourself first. Love yourself first. And hopefully the right people, no, not hopefully, definitely the right people will gravitate towards you, and you will have that balanced, loving friendship, work partnership, soulmate, lover, your children, your parents, your whatever it might be. So anyway, thanks again for listening to me ramble on. I hope everybody has a great day. Like I said, don't forget to go and subscribe to the channel and hit the little dingy ding bell so that you get notified whenever I'm going to ramble on. And let me know what you guys think. Did I bore you? Did I entertain you? I'll try and come up with a joke or two maybe. How's that? All right, guys. Take care.